that will not set you up for success. We're trying to set you up for success. Hey guys, good morning, welcome back to my channel. So today's video I'm actually really excited to talk about because I haven't really talked about this on my channel. Like, it kind of comes up in some of my vlogs, and you can see that I balance work and pursuing my dreams. I don't really talk about how I do that, so we're gonna get into it. Let's get into it. Let's begin. So I'm gonna give you the main things that work for me in no specific order, but because they're all super important. I was gonna say number one was time management, but I think number one is getting clear on your priorities, what you really want in life, what you feel called to, what you feel like God is telling you to do, whatever you believe in. Getting clear on that, because that kind of informs how you show up to everything. And you might find out that your dream creative endeavor is tied with your job, or your job might lead you to a place where you dream of being in your creative life. And because of who you are and just how interesting and unique of a person you are, you might show up in that room and create a new opportunity for yourself. So yeah, time management. If you're not a super organized type A person, that's okay. You don't have to like draft up some big schedule, but that would definitely help. But just kind of think about how your week goes. Like, what do you do Monday through Friday? Do you have time to take an acting class? Do you have time to shoot a YouTube video? Really visualize what you think it would look like to work and also pursue your creative endeavor. So I've worked a bunch of different jobs. Right now I work remote, so it's a lot more flexible for me to film when I can. So time management is the biggest thing. Figuring out when you can make time for your creative thing. That might be on the weekend, or you might be able to get an off day during the middle of the week, and you have to make sure to prioritize that time for content creation, for acting, for writing, for whatever extra thing you want to do outside of your job. You really have to kind of cut out time for it, because if you don't cut out time, you may not get around to it. It's very easy to get burnt out. I can say that. Even working a remote job, it's very easy to get overwhelmed, because the days where you should be resting, you are trying to fit in content. So also, that brings me into my next point. My next point is manage your energy. And that really means, like, see how you feel. Listen to your body. Like, if you are exhausted from work at the end of the week, like on a Friday, I would say don't try to film a YouTube video that day, because it's gonna read through that you are exhausted. And you really need energy, or you need energy to do things creative. So sadly, it takes away the fun when you don't have the energy to do what you wanna do. And so find times when your energy is the highest. So maybe instead of doing something at the end of the week, you might find that the beginning of the week is when you have the most energy, because it's the beginning of the work week, you're feeling inspired. So maybe like Sunday nights, you're like planning. That'll kind of give you that boost going into the week, just managing, like knowing that you're gonna have energy at that time. So I don't work 2 days out of the week, but then I work on weekend. And that just works for me. It may not work for everybody, but it helps me because I'm often inspired really early in the week. And so I would hate to like wait until Saturday to film, or like Friday. And so I try to get my content started in the beginning of the week, because that's when I have the most energy. It's like, oh, it's Tuesday. Let's get it going, you know. I stay organized. So really try to, get a journal, a planner, a digital planner, or like Google Docs, and really try to track what you need to do. You gotta keep things separate too. So like keep your work stuff with your work stuff and your personalized stuff in separate places. So like I have different emails. I have obviously my work email, I have a personal email, then I have like my creative email that like my agents have. And because I just like to keep it separate, and I don't like things to get lost in the whole email void or whatever it's called. So really trying to keep your stuff separate. If you have a place where you can see like, oh, I have this deadline, or I need to write this by here, or get this video up, or I have this audition, it won't get mixed up in your work deadlines, because that will not set you up for success. We're trying to set you up for success. Being organized is such an important part of the whole balancing your life. Like, it's a balancing act. And in order to balance, you kind of have to have things somewhat together. I mean, everything doesn't have to be perfect, but I realized that like the more organized my life feels, the better I perform at work, and the better that I do when I'm doing my personal, my acting, YouTube stuff. This one might be a little iffy, but communicate with your manager. Sometimes they want to know what other interests you have in life, and that actually may not hurt you. Like, it's cool that people have different interests, and they might even, if you're open about it, they might know somebody, they might have an opportunity through work to help you. It's best to communicate so that people know like they can know what's going on if they need to help you out, cover for you. It seems like somebody might be unsupportive of your dream, but that's not always the case. If you have a cool manager, this is why I'm saying like play it by ear. If your supervisor, direct supervisor is cool and chill, then communicate with them that you have a shoot this day or you're doing this. Like, it's okay to have different interests. Like, and so now we can get into like the work stuff. So you have a job for a reason. Like, you were blessed with a job. Don't mess up that job. Don't do mediocre work. Like, really work hard and show up and put your best foot forward at work, because that job is kind of helping you fund your creative career. And it's important to not slack because it's not your dream career, dream job. Like, don't do that, because you'll look up and not have the job anymore, and then you'll have to find a way to make money on your creative career until your creative career is the thing. I read this book called The Defining Decade, and it talks about like having a job that can fund your creative career. It talks about like getting a job with capital that might be able to pull you forward to where you want to be. And if I hadn't read that book, I don't know if I would have the job I have right now, which is literally, it's allowing me to take acting classes, get the headshots I need. It's allowed me to buy a camera, a new laptop. It's like, really value that job that you have, because it's a blessing. It's a blessing to work and to also have the luxury to do other things. So definitely don't downplay your job. Don't speak down on it. I've learned to be really grateful for where I am right now because I prayed for times like this. Like Meek Mill said,
I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme
exactly.
like this.
Okay, so as I was saying, habits and routines, y'all, can really help you balance your whole entire life. Because I don't want to sound like a broken record here and repeat everybody who talks about habits and routines, but I will say that like when you have like a solid morning routine and you've done all these things in the morning, it makes it so all of a sudden you have all this free time in the day because you handled all your stuff early in the morning. And then like same with nighttime. At night, if you have a really good nighttime routine, it will set you up for success for the next day. Your workout clothes are laid out, your camera's charging the night before so that like you can film your audition or your YouTube video. Like, it really, you're setting yourself up. You're looking out for your future self in the morning and at night. They're both like setting you up for the ultimate success. Another thing is make friends with other content creators, like reach out to people who inspire you, talk to your friends who also like, maybe it's even an acquaintance. It could be me, like DM me, girl, I don't know. It could be somebody that like is a friend of a friend or anything, and just DM them and see how they're doing what they're doing. I've DM'd so many people, I've DM'd actors, and I've gotten such good insight and tips about like, I've gotten so many good tips from people that are like doing what I'm doing, and they've become friends and we've helped each other. Honestly, having even one or two people around you that are doing what you're doing will keep you inspired and will keep you on your stuff. So it's not something that you have to necessarily do alone. It's honestly so good to like develop a tribe, a group of people, friends that you know, even if they don't live necessarily around you, like having a friend that you can call on who is also going through the same stuff. I may make a part 2, but my last tip is to just be flexible. Be ready for things to change. If you act, you already know an audition could come up at any time, and it's be ready. Just be flexible and ready for anything to happen, because the crazy thing about your creative career is that you never know when something's gonna pop off. You never know when you're gonna get a call back, an audition, when you get a brand deal, or like a major opportunity comes up, and then you need to figure out how you're gonna do your job still. Like, and that's why communicating is super important with your supervisors. It's really important to have a schedule that can work with it, because like if you can't get time off, if you can't get time off, or if you have to travel for like this new opportunity, there has to be some type of workaround with your job. If not, that will force you to have to make a decision. I can't recommend you to quit your job. Like, that's really on you to do, to decide and to pray about. But like, If it's an audition or something, like that's not something that you'd want to lose your job over. So you have to really like figure out whatever the opportunity is that might come up during your job, really assess it and see like how important is this to me and how much will it affect my job if I have to walk away for a bit, if I have to like have that day off. I just made sure to communicate and say, hey, I booked this musical and it wasn't a problem because I continued to do my work and I showed up. But yeah, like utilize your time off. Maybe consider getting a job that's in the city that you know that you want to like do your creative endeavors. But the beauty of the world right now is you can literally be anywhere to kind of get your dream off the ground. And so I would say like don't worry about like so much the location and just see what you can do with what you have right now. Like what can, like, you know, on the weekends, how can you just pour in a little bit into that dream? Who can you reach out to? What emails can you send? So yeah, if this helped, let me know. Also, if you also work remote or if you're also balancing a career, like let me know what type of things you do in the comments and we can talk about it. Like let's all just give each other some more advice, some more tips that work for you. So yeah, guys, just a reminder, I am back with weekly videos. I'm liking new videos every Thursday, so that's where we're gonna stay for now. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one.